are in the fourth step of this New Year's planning mini-series. We have celebrated our wins, reflected on our learning, done visualization activities about our best selves, and then now we are stepping into goal setting, which is the meatiest part and the meatiest step of this whole process. So definitely grab a notebook and a pen for this one. I actually have notes as well that I'm going to be referencing a lot through this, which probably not ideal, but there's just a lot that I want to say, so bear with me. And then I just want to point out too, at the very top of this video, that I am going to be using weight loss and pounds as the example that I kind of use all throughout this video, just because it's one of the easiest things to like wrap your mind around how I want to shift how we talk about goal setting. And I know that a lot of people tend to focus on weight loss and things like that for the beginning of the new year. So if talking about weight loss and pounds and etc. is triggering for you, this might not be the right video for you. On the other hand, if weight loss and weight or something, it's just something that you do spend a lot of time thinking about, this might be really helpful to shift your way of thinking and kind of have a breakthrough from the like, I want to lose 25 pounds this year, etc. So do what you need to do for your well-being and you're just like your overall health and well-being, but just want to let you know that's what I'm going to use as my example to show how I set up goals for the new year. So we've probably all heard about SMART goals, right? Things that are specific, measurable, action-oriented, realistic, and time-bound. And I think SMART goals are helpful, but I think it's missing a piece. So usually with a SMART goal, you could get something like, I want to lose 25 pounds by April, right? Or I want to run a marathon by November, or I want to launch my business by December. So those are specific things and they're time bound and all of that stuff. And what I call those now, I call those outcome goals. And an outcome goal is something where you are focused on reaching an endpoint or a milestone, by a specific period of time. Something that you would want to accomplish in the future. And I think it's okay to have those in the back of your mind. But in my goal setting efforts for the new year, I have shifted to something more called process goals. So let me explain the difference between those two. I think in outcome goals, what has happened with me in the past and what I think tends to happen with a lot of people is we get really hyped up about those in the beginning and then they taper off. And I think they taper off for three different reasons. One, we didn't spend enough time actually thinking about the steps that it would take to get us to that outcome. Two, I think with that type of goal, you're not really able to celebrate the success like along the way. And then three, I think that we can't actually control outcomes. There are a lot of different things at play. And so what we really can control are the inputs. And so that's why I've been focusing on the outcome goal. So using this 25 pounds example, if I'm trying to lose 25 pounds, I might lose 5 pounds pretty early on. And instead of fully celebrating that, I'm thinking, okay, yeah, I've lost 5 pounds, but that's not 25 pounds. And so the whole year or the whole months that I'm trying to do that, I'm still always operating from this deficit mindset, like I'm coming from behind and I'm trying to make up for it. So even when I get to 10 pounds, 15 pounds, it's like, oh my gosh, I've put all of this work in and I'm still haven't lost the 25 pounds. Like, it's so frustrating. And I know I've done it many times where that's the point where you drop off and you start to give up because it just feels so hard and it feels like you can't get there. I'm sure people watching this can identify with that as well. Versus when I've switched to doing process goals, I mean, the minute that I lace up my shoes and head out for a run, I get to celebrate that because part of my goal was to do X amount of workouts this month, right? So I'm crossing one off the list the minute I come back in from that run, and it just feels completely different. It doesn't feel like an uphill battle that I'm, or an uphill whatever that I'm climbing the whole year. Instead, it feels like, boom, I am crushing it. Like in that moment, I am crushing it. I am achieving my goals. I am living in or operating from my highest and best self, which I talked about in the video before this. So you already get to feel that transformation, and day after day, you're just building on that, and it's starting to just build this abundance of who I am and what I'm capable of and what I can accomplish in this moment right now, not one day when I reach that outcome. So the process goal is one where you are focusing on the specific actions and the specific tasks that you can complete. That's the inputs that you have control over, right? So that sounds like I want to work out 5 days a week. I want to eat 3 fruits and vegetables per meal. I want to drink 8 glasses of water a day. If you're thinking business things, it might be, I have a friend right now who she is putting out a vlog video every week. So she is focused on not necessarily number of subscribers or things like that. That's outside of her control, but she is committed to doing the work to post a vlog every single week. If you're trying to get better at a specific craft or hobby that you have, then it might be about the number of rehearsals or practices that you put in, right? So when I was doing my New York goals in previous years, then it would be like I want to attend a certain number of classes a week or attend a certain number of shows, or that I would commit to doing my like vocal warm-ups X amount of days per week, things like that. So really focusing on what are the things that I can put in to the goal rather than focusing on the outcome, which we have a lot less control over. And like I said, creates that thing where I'm still not there yet, I'm still not there yet, still not there yet. I even think about, for single people and they're trying to start dating or, get into a relationship or whatever. I had a friend and we were talking about like, you can set a goal around, I'm going to go on X number of dates this year, whatever, which I actually am not saying is not a good goal. And I've, thought about that for myself as well. But there are also some steps before that you have full control over. So you might set goals around, I'm going to smile at or engage in a conversation with a stranger every day, and starting to like build that lifestyle of just being more open. You might also say like, I'm going to go grab a drink at a bar by myself once a week. So those are like inputs and things that you can be doing all throughout the year that is working towards that long-term goal, but things that you can already be crossing off because, you might not get a date as many times as you want to each month, and there's someone else who's in control of that as well. Someone has, even if you're asking someone out, like they have to say yes. But what you can do is be in control of your way of being, and operating, like we said in that previous video, operating that highest and best self. Like someone who is dating regularly, they're probably being more open and they're probably smiling and striking up conversations with strangers, guys or girls, and they're going out and creating opportunities where they can meet someone, etc. So just things like that, thinking about the process that goes into place in order to set up the lifestyle that you want. So just make sure that I'm tying these together. I want to explicitly state I am arriving at these goals from the visualization activity that I did in the previous step. So when I looked at each area of my life and I decided how my life looks when I'm operating at my highest and best self, then I'm taking that category and saying, okay, if operating at my highest best self, I'm making granola and riding my bike along the Hudson and, eating fresh fruits and vegetables all the time, etc., then let me set goals around that. Okay, I'm going to eat 3 fruits and vegetables per meal. I'm going to do a workout or some type of movement activity 5 days a week, etc. And so what it's creating is that opportunity to bring your goal setting into the present, like I keep talking about, rather than thinking about your goal setting as something to happen or to accomplish in the future. The last thing I'll say about goal setting is you have to pick your top 2 or 3, and that's it. Please do not make a goal around every single one of the 8 categories of the wheel of life, or even within one category, health, and you're like, I'm going to do these 10 different things. Like, you're not. You're just not. And I'd love for someone to come and prove and show to me, yes, look, I've done all of these things and I've done them for an entire year and now I'm a different, I would love to meet that person. So until I meet that person, what I strongly recommend is, I know everything is important and I know that we want to feel like we want to completely change our lives and this year is going to be my year and I'm just going to do everything completely differently and just be on top of it. But instead, what I encourage you to do is decide what is like my top priority. Like, here is the thing that I am going to stick to all year, no matter what. Here's 2 and here's 3. And then just be consistent and start hammering that out week after week after week until it truly becomes a muscle that, you know, you've, 1, developed, or 2, it's become a lifestyle that you now don't even really need to think about it. So the example I give is, you know, if you've been following me on Instagram, I set the goal of doing 20 workouts per month, and, you know, aiming for 5 workouts a week. But, you know, I set that up and I had in my mind kind of put the steps in place. Like on Monday, Wednesday, I was going to Orange Theory, and on Tuesday, Thursday, I was going to go to the gym. And then Saturday morning, I was going to go for a run. And I kind of stuck to that for the most part. But even when I didn't, it was okay. Like, there was okay to have the flexibility in it, but I always hit those 20 workouts. And that was a big part because of the accountability that I had in place, which I'll talk about in the next video. But now it's December and I'm actually at, I think, like 23 or 24 workouts this month. And it's because I stopped even really thinking about, like, I got to get to 20. It just is now a habit. Like, I wake up in the morning and I do my workouts, usually still Monday through Thursday and Saturday as well. Sometimes I also work out on Friday just because in quarantine I don't move my body as much. So it makes sense for me to like wake up and at least go for a walk, etc. But it just is a lifestyle habit. So next year I'm going to hopefully sustain that, but I don't need to make a goal around it. And now I can pick up another area of my life that I want to start making goals around. So I just really encourage you. I've done it myself so many times where I set out to do 20,000 things for the new year and then I do 0 of them. And instead, it just feels so much better that I had the 3 goals that I was focused on this year. 1 was around nutrition, 1 was around working out, and 1 was around my debt and paying off my debt. And I did all of them. I did all 3 of them. And I feel so great. I feel super accomplished in those areas. And now I'm ready to add on to that and continue, just like building the lifestyle and the way of being that I would like to have for myself. So that is just my big tip. Please don't do more than 3 goals. And if you want to talk about like how to prioritize them and what to do with all those other things that you have in your mind, please reach out to me because I would be happy to just like hop on a call with you and talk through some of that. So the next video, the last video in this mini series, is going to be about accountability. So just be on the lookout for that. And also just please let me know if you've been following along with this. I'd love to hear from you and hear how this is working out for you and what are some of the goals that you've been setting for yourself. So again, you can reach out to me via Instagram, which will come up in a second on the screen, or you can comment below, and I just would love to hear how this process is working for you.